Welcome back to what Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an FV4005 Stage II. It's a Tier 10 British tank destroyer. It's located on the southeastbourne of Empire's Border Encounter, and it's under the command of canbr. Okay, game's on. Now, otherwise known as the ship barn, yes, for obvious reasons, because it does look like it's got an outhouse at the back. Other people call it the Hesh barn. I like to call it the Hesh barn because, after all, it was designed to fire Hesh rounds. And, well, canbr's loaded 5 Hesh rounds in his magazine. He's got 5 armour-piercing rounds, capable of doing 1,150 and penetrating 310mm of armour. And he's also carrying some standard high explosive, which will do 1,750 and penetrate 92mm of armour. But it's the Hesh that it's all about, because that will do 1,750, but only penetrates 230mm of armour. And it's got a burst radius of 5.05 metres. Now, the Hesh high explosive squash head is capable of wiping out enemy tanks with just one shot. With the high explosive, that's a little more difficult because it won't go through as much armour. The Hesh does go through armour. And remember, it's tier 10 games, so some of the tanks he's up against have good armour. Well, he's adopting a sniping position, and the reason for that really is that the FV4005 does not have armour really around the turret. It's paper thin. It's really just there to stop small arms fire. That's all it's there for, and any sizable round is just going to go straight through. And of course that makes these tank destroyers, very vulnerable to Arty. And in this game there's 2 Arty on either side. There's the enemy FV4005. Now, the hull of this tank was actually made from a Centurion. Oh, that AMX 1390 is coming into danger. Oh, he just got hit by Arty. He's been stunned and the enemy's starting to cap. And I suspect it might be their ship barn that's capping. Oh, yes! That's his first kill, but I'm afraid he fired a Hesh round to destroy a tank which only had 14 hit points left. So I think that's a bit of a waste. He probably could have taken that tank out with an HE round. He's now got a 25-second reload. Yes, it's quite a long one. He's loaded another Hesh round. Hesh is quite expensive. You don't want to blast too much away, otherwise all your profits will go straight to back to wargaming. I'm pretty sure it's either the Renegade or the FV4005 that's in the cap. I don't think he's in the bush anymore. I think he's poked through. Well, that tank's not going to damage anyone anymore. And I don't know, he wasn't seen. He wasn't seen. He's been joined by a 212A. Yep, he's perfectly safe there. Just the barrels are through the bush. Well, he's left the 212A to handle the bush. In the meantime, there's some enemies just around this corner. He'll probably get shots on those. Crambarn. But he has been seen. If the Crambarn spots him, no, he won't anymore. He's out the game. There's an AMX M451 round there as well. He's going to be mightily worried if canbr loads another round of Hesh. But we're losing tanks next to the cap, so although he's loading at this moment, we need some of our heavy tanks to actually come back to the cap, or we are going to find the enemy capping with no way of actually getting a reset. Unless, of course, canbr does it himself, which I think he's going to have to do. But this could prove interesting in terms of the amount of damage he does to the enemy. There's the enemy Hesh barn. And the enemy Hesh barn is no more. But he managed to get a shot into canbr. And he's lost 761 hit points. And they've started capping again. canbr's loading as quickly as he can. Is his last HESH round. And there's the IS-2 too. Just around the corner, he's pulling back because he knows what's coming. And the Arty gets him. That's good, so he gets the spotting. There's the Renegade, the other side of the pass, or gatehouse I should say. In fact, he's going to get a lovely surprise up his posterior. If that HESH round explodes in his ass, he's going to be out of the game just like that. Okay, hello Mr. Renegade. Remember us? 1360. Nice. And that means there's only 3 enemy tanks left. But one of them's a TVP T5051, the medium tank Assassin, and the other one's the AMX M451, who's managed to break past the our teammate in the AMX M449 Liberté, and he's now headed towards our Arty. We still don't know where that TVP is. As I said, he's the medium tank Assassin with 4 shells that can zip out of his tank in less than 4.5 seconds flat. And there he is, and he's just finished off the IS-3 just like that, but we got him in return, and that's now a Top Gun. Now he's got to load that shell in the next 25 seconds. The enemy still has that AMX M451 and a Noobs who's following us. He's actually behind us. And so canbr's going to have to stop and deal with the Noobs. Otherwise he's going to be out of the game. Yep. That was nice. Now he needs... Well, he should put an AP round in for the AMX M451. But instead he's loading an HE round. He's going to sit here and wait for the load to go in. We've lost both our Arty, I'm afraid. It's now canbr on his own. And there's still 1 enemy left. We're guarding the cap area. We'll just have to find out how brave is that M451. Is he willing to try and risk it? To come to the cap? I think canbr's decided that it's better off for him to actually go into the cap, start capping and force the M451 to come to him. I can't imagine that the M451 would try to come all the way around up through the valley towards us from that direction, because if he does try that, then he's going to find that very, very difficult. He might even run out of time, even though this is an encounter game. Here he comes. He is coming up the conventional way. Just need to back between these wrecks to give them cover. He's got the top of the M4, but the M4 is trying to force him to fire. He's trying to back him away now. Go for it. Yep, that's it. That's how to do it. That's a Radley's. Wins the game. He took a hell of a shot right through the turret from the AMX M451, but he won the day. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, it's an ace tanker for canbr in the FV4005 Stage II. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 19. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. And out of the epic medals, he picked up a Radley Walters Medal. Out of the battle heroes, he picked up a high caliber for doing the most damage in the game. And a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. Let's have a look at the team scores. 6,339 hit points of damage. The next highest scorer was the Heshbon on the enemy team, who managed to get 4,380, would you believe it? He must have killed all of the enemy tank, or all of our tanks, in the cap area. When it came to the next highest scorer, that was the Object 430U, 2,982, but we never saw him during the battle. When it came to kills, it was, yes, canbr with 8 kills. The next high scorers being the SU130PM on his own team with 3 kills, the TVP-250-51, the M451 who managed to get 3 kills, and then the enemy FV4005 with 2. When it came to base XP, it's canbr, yes, with 1,241. Next high scorer being the Prototypo Standard B with 957, and finally that SU130PM with 852. He fired 8 rounds, got 8 direct hits and 7 penetrations, 1 splash. Damage of 6,339 hit points, of which 774 were at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits from the enemy. 2 of them were penetrations. 1 of those came from the TVP T5051. The other one came from the AMX M451. 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. And 8 vehicles were damaged. Oh, the splash damage one was the FV4005 on the enemy team. Yes, he did fire that 1 HE round in that did a lot of damage. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 8 killed, and 158 hit points of damage assistance, and he got 9 defense points when he reset the cap. On a premium count, he earned 45,253 credits, but he did fire a fair number of rounds. Well, only fair number, it was actually only 5 rounds of HESH, but after ammunition resupply, he actually ended up with a small loss of 2,129 credits, and it could have been a lot worse actually. I think that's actually quite a good deal considering he only fired 5 HESH, but one of those HESH rounds, again, as I did say, was only yielded 13 hit points of actual damage on the enemy, and he potentially could have actually done the same damage with an HE round on that 1390, but he just didn't know which tank was actually going to come in front of his gun at the appropriate time. So I suppose you have to fire what you've got in the breech when you've got a 25-second reload. He received 1,241 XP, got ×2 for the first victory, and took away 3,724. So a very good game, he says. ASDA, was that ASDA? I don't understand what he's actually trying to say there. I say it's the letters on his keyboard, or if he's trying to say ASDA, SAD, or whatever. But anyway, I don't really understand that at all. But well done for canbr, because he actually did save his team with his shipman, or heshbarn as I like to call it. And yes, he did play that very, very well. And yeah, all kudos to him to get a Radley's. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.